What kind of comfort do you feel going back to the Final Four, knowing just how many years in a row you guys have been a staple in postseason there?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives you a level of confidence going into it that you know what's going to happen, you know what the environment is going to be like. Obviously, having been down there last year, and we're just honestly excited to have another week of practice, excited to have another week together and really just be able to work hard, enjoy each other, and put it all on the line on Friday.
Coach, this is the Florida team you guys haven't played since 2014. Are there any challenges associated with playing against a program you haven't seen in 10 years?
I think, we hadn't played against Penn last week too, so that was like a kind of a good opportunity for us to prepare for someone different. I would say it's a little bit more prep work when you're playing an unfamiliar opponent. I do have familiarity with Florida, obviously, from when we were rivals with them when they were in our conference. I have a lot of respect for them. So just trying to really get to know them, prep well, and get our players to get to know them and get our game plan going. So it's a challenge for sure, but it's a challenge for them as well since they haven't played us.
Coach, you guys played 3 really close games to end the season against some really good teams, but have kind of crushed through the postseason. How does that set you up playing those close games late in the season?
I think it's huge. I mean, having our conference be strong this year, really strong from top to bottom, we really had to battle each week. And that was great preparation for this point in the season. And I feel like that combined with our schedule before that, we've pretty much played against every different type of team, type of offense, type of defense. And so we just feel a level of confidence that we can be prepared for whatever hits us, whether it be a close game, whether it be, we're able to create some separation or, come from behind. We've really done it all. And so we feel comfortable in all those situations, which is good.
Coach, you mentioned how prepping for Florida is going to take a little bit longer since you guys haven't played them, but you guys have played a common opponent in Maryland. Was there anything you saw from that game that you could take away and say, all right, they did this, now we can do this?
I just think the biggest thing with Florida is they have a lot of weapons on the offensive end. They really have balanced offense, lots of scorers, put a lot of goals on the board. So we have to play great team defense. But we have, gone up against teams with lots of weapons before. I do think they're a little bit unique. They also have a great drop taker, and that's not something that we haven't gone up against this year. I think, all the teams in the tournament, you get to this point, you have to have a great draw taker. You have to have a great draw team. So we know that we have to be prepared for a battle there. And our goal is to just gain as much possession as we can for our team and then, let the offense do the work.
And on that draw unit, of course, Charlie Leonard does a lot of work with your draw team. What sort of impact have you seen him have on this program since he came in?
He's had an amazing effect. We work together on the draw stuff and I think that I've had to teach him. There's a lot of differences between the women's game and the men's game, but just being able to have someone to bounce ideas off of has been really huge, and he's done a great job.
And then, Coach, talking about the draw control specialist, you mentioned after the Penn game last week, you guys have a lot of depth, and sometimes that can be useful to throw at somebody, give them different looks in the circle. How important is having that depth, whether it's going to be Samantha Smith, Madison Smith, going to be on Friday?
It's huge. You to be able to turn to different people, give different looks, just when things aren't going well. Sometimes it can help to just go with different people for a little bit and then go back to your starter. So I think that it really helps. And it's a long game, especially with the TV timeouts and everything, and we want to make sure that we have freshness on the draw circle and with our draw takers and give our best effort forth.
How do you think going up against draw takers like like Shaylin Ahern, Kelly Deans, Jennifer Berry, to name a few, will have helped you guys prepare for Liz Harris?
I think it's huge. I think it's one thing to practice against your own draw takers, but I think it's another thing to go and get lots of reps up against the best draw takers in the country, and the different styles, the different types of sticks. It's really helpful to have that experience.
You mentioned just getting another week with this team. Obviously, have some upperclassmen that have meant a lot to the program. Just how special has this group been this year? Just kind of knowing that the season's getting closer.
Absolutely, that's our goal. To be able to extend our season as long as possible. And so, just to be able to do that, get that extra week, and, just have the players be able to enjoy each other, challenge themselves, and put it all on the line and represent Northwestern in a really positive way. I think it's something that they dream about and they've worked really hard for.
In season high 4 goals from Lindsay Frank last time out, what have you seen from her and her ability to adapt this to the first team program?
Yeah, I would say Lindsay, I think both Lindsay and Aaliyah, being with field hockey in the fall, you miss a bunch, and I think that they're both really starting to gain a lot of confidence at this point in the season, and it's cool to watch them. And I've seen that with Lindsay when she played at Richmond. As the season went on, she got better and better. And so, we're hoping she can continue that trend. She's been playing great.
Coach, you've had a lot of amazing teams here, national champion teams. What makes this team different and special to you?
I think that early on in my career, when we won a string of national championships, I think that we were able to sustain success. And I think now we've kind of looked at it and really figured out a formula for what we want, and I think our players are really buying into that. And I think this team is really special because this group is the group that kind of helped us revert back to some of the things that we used to do, but also improve on that culture. And so I think it's been really, really fun and exciting for them to have those experiences, to see it when we weren't able to make Final Fours before they got here, and then to be a program that consistently makes Final Fours. It's pretty impressive.
And then, Coach, you mentioned earlier Florida's got a lot of different variety on the attack, a lot of different players they can turn to. And you guys, of course, play that high-pressure defense. How important is that going to be against the many-headed attack to make sure that you're putting pressure on everybody?
Yeah, well, I think we can make a case that we play all different styles of defense, and just being able to adapt to what we need to is huge. And we always have multiple looks ready so that, if one thing's not working, we can turn to something else. And I think our players are really confident at all the different things that we do, which I think gives us great versatility. So I know that no matter what we do, it'll be team oriented, and when you play against players that are all threats, you need to play Team D, and that's the bottom line. We know they're going to score goals, and we just hope that we can score one more than them.
A lot of historic matchups between you and Florida over the years. They currently lead the series 6-4. What sort of stands out about Amanda O'Leary's program every time you guys play them?
I think Mandy just is, a really charismatic coach. I think she pushes her players. I think Florida's done a great job at supporting their women's program, and I'm just really impressed how she's kind of built it back up. They made the Final Four in 2012, which was, before last year, the last year we won. So, there's always ebbs and flows to coaching, and I think it speaks to her greatness that she's brought her team back to the Final Four and been so dominant this year.
Very exciting. I think obviously going to the Final Four is exciting, but I think what most of us are really excited about is getting another week together. We've made it as far as we could on this field, and really that's a gift, and so we're just trying to enjoy that.
What has been different about this team this year?
I think every year different players, different actors, different roles. But I think the thing that stays the same is like the love between this group. That was the case last year, and that's the case this year. We definitely wouldn't have made it to where we are now without all the people that were a part of this program last year and even further back. I think one thing that makes this team special is just our ability to connect with one another, have fun, and just, keep things about, the family that we've created here.
Malo, you're playing a Florida team that shows it can score in bunches. I mean, last time out against Maryland, 9 goals in that first quarter. What have you guys seen in terms of your preparation and preparing for their attack?
Yeah, I think our best preparation is playing Northwestern lacrosse. I think that we are always trying to, prepare for all the situations that a different team might throw us, and so the X's and O's of that are definitely going to be like specific for the type of team and the type of play style that Florida brings. But I think the biggest focus is just on our team and on executing the things that we know we can control, like our focus, our attitude, our effort.
Any added emotions knowing kind of like the finality of this for you a little bit?
I'm actually trying not to feel those right now, which I'm not sure how healthy that is, but I think I'd rather just enjoy it while I can, and I'll have plenty of time after it's all said and done to feel whatever I feel.
And with the exception of Laliberty, every single defender returns to your starting lineup. How important will it be for you guys at this Final Four to have so much continuity in your defensive end?
Yeah, I think our defensive group is just so special. We love each other so much and so hard. It's really, really been awesome. And like you said, there's a lot of familiar faces, but there's some new faces too. We have Maddie Smith down there, and people like Aaliyah Marshall coming in as a D-mid, and it's just been really great to see that sort of come together as one whole unit. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. We joke around that we're like the misfits. And we say BAMF a lot, which I'll let you all look that up. I won't say it myself, but that's kind of what describes us as a team, as a unit, specifically on the defensive end. And I think that sort of thing is what's going to bring us to the result that we want this weekend.
It kind of goes without saying, but just the experience of having been there before, how valuable is that this time of year?
Super valuable. For myself, this is my 5th Final Four in as many opportunities. And that's the case for like everyone on this team. Everyone on this team, every chance they've gotten, they've gone to the Final Four. And so, except for the freshmen, of course. But I think that that's really cool that we know, what we're walking into. But again, I think that even further shows our appreciation for it. We know how hard it is to get there. We know the work it takes. We know it's not something that just happens. It's something you have to go out there and grab. And I think that just makes us all the more excited to, enjoy every second of it, to savor every moment that we have there.
How have you seen your defense improve from Big Ten tournament, where you guys are grinding out very close victories over Hopkins and Penn State, to now where you're allowing single-digit goals in back-to-back games and seemingly rendering some of the top attacking units in the country pretty obsolete in these games?
Yeah, I think that's something that our defense has always been able to do, and we don't really like to focus on like the numbers or the specific result or score, but more on executing our game plan. I think there are some games that are closer. There are different ways to win a game, but I think it really comes down to like the team as a whole for those sort of things. The defense doesn't hold the other team to 4 goals without a ton of draws, without clean play on attack, without goals from the attack, without smart decisions from the coaches, emotional control from the entire team. So I think, while I definitely think we've improved every time we've had the opportunity to do so, I think a lot of it has just been really dialing down on the culture of our defense.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Just how excited
Hi.
do you feel like the team is to go somewhere that now, as Molly was just saying, most of you guys are very familiar with what you're walking into?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, last year obviously we had an awesome time in Cary, and that's always a fun memory to have. But we have new girls and we lost girls from last year, so it'll definitely be a new experience for them. And we're lucky enough that a lot of the girls on our team have some experience with Final Four appearances, and even for the young girls, they seem just very excited and very happy about it. So we're trying to just live in the moment, enjoy it, not get too caught up on this and that from last year. I mean, it's awesome to be back at the same place. It'll definitely bring back some good memories, but gotta lock in and hope we can make some more good ones this year for sure.
What kind of emotions do you have going into it, just knowing that it's kind of your last go with these teammates in here?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's definitely, it's not sad, but it is bittersweet, of course. I mean, we had our last game for a lot of us on this field a couple nights ago, and that was definitely pulled on some heartstrings. It was a little tough, but it's exciting. I think we talk a lot about it as a team, just like making sure we're really enjoying every moment. About like all the things that are going to come with the next week don't just happen, and a lot of people put a lot of work into getting us to this point, and making sure we're just really taking it all in, not getting too caught in our heads. Like, it's very easy to get very nervous about the situation. Obviously, it's high pressure or whatever you want to call it, but I think just enjoying it to the best of our ability is kind of how we're looking to approach it. So hopefully it'll be fun. Just enjoy the moment and have fun with the girls that we love and have had such a good year with so far.
And a lot of the focus in the attacking end goes to you, Aaron, and Maddie, rightfully so. But what have you seen recently from Lindsay, Frank, and Dylan Amonte in these past few games?
Yeah, they're incredible. I mean, Lindsay's obviously new, but it's been so awesome to have her. She's such a good lacrosse player. She's so smart. And Dylan's someone that I will always praise as someone who works so hard and is such a critical point on our offense and doesn't get the amount of credit that some of the rest of us do. But she's the type of person that is just moving all the time, and any opportunity that we get on looks on offense are probably something that Dylan created for us, or some of our middies. And all the girls that come into the offensive end just work so hard, and we just make sure everyone's doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And it's great to have a group that's very unselfish. Everyone's willing to do what it takes for anyone on the offense to score. No one wants to be the one that's taken away from anyone else. So when you have that type of environment with the whole team, but also just on the offense specifically, we have a lot of really unselfish players. It allows for girls to shine through, but it's awesome to give credit to the people that make it happen. So yeah.
Talking about the unselfish defense, or the unselfish offense, this Florida defense has been great all postseason, but you guys ran into some great defenses already this postseason, having too much trouble with them. How does that unselfishness, do you think, lead to an offensive flow against some of these better defenses?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's tough when anyone on the field can score. I mean, they can do their best to lock off certain people, make it hard for whether it be me or Aaron or Maddie or some of those girls you named. But when you have a group of girls that's just going to work very hard for each other, it opens up a lot of opportunities for anyone at any given moment. And when girls are working the way that they are, they'll finish it when the time comes. And you see girls step up in really big games that might not traditionally be the ones on the stat sheet. And I'm sure we'll see that going forward when defenses put more attention on certain girls. So yeah, it's great. I mean, just having a team that doesn't care who scores, just that we are scoring, is a really, it's an awesome thing to have on offense and very fun to be a part of.
Obviously, season's not over, but it's been a special one for you, coming all-time leading scorer. Just what has that meant to you, and what has the season been like for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I'm lucky enough I got to come back. Some people are a little bit unlucky with timing of injuries or whatnot, or what gets in their way of getting extra eligibility. And I'm very lucky that I got 2 extra full years with COVID and with my ACL. So I just try to appreciate it. I think it's been such a fun year. I've made so many new friends with all the new girls coming in, and continued to get closer with everyone on our team and on the staff. And I'm just having a blast. I think I try to focus on just having fun, because it's easy for pressure to kind of get in the way when it comes to that kind of stuff, the stats or the accolades. But I'm just glad I got to play lacrosse for another year, and it's definitely been an awesome year. And I'm glad that we got to extend our season as long as possible, because it's the more the merrier, and obviously it's wrapping up soon. So just happy to be here. Yeah.
How crucial is it when you're going up against these elite defenses throughout the postseason to be practicing every day against the defense you guys have?
Yeah, absolutely. They're incredible. Our entire team's just amazing, and they work so hard. And we talk a lot about how it's easy to perform in games when you play against the best players in the country every day at practice. And our defense really is that. They're incredible. The girls on and off the field that we see, we have girls that scout for us and play defense like the teams we're going to see, and they're typically better than the Ds we end up seeing in games. No lack of credit to the people we play, but our girls are just awesome. They work really hard to give us good looks. So when you get to show up to a practice and play with and against such incredible players, it really brings out the best in you. And yeah, I think that's part of why we've been able to be successful so far, just how awesome the girls at practice are.
And then with the defense in games, obviously in practice they're
Yeah.
a huge help, but then in games, starting grades, whether it's Jane
Yeah.
Hanson, Sammy White,
Yeah.
Halper, and Carlin Honey, how helpful is it for you guys on offense to be able to have a defense that's able to set up possessions for you so quickly?
Absolutely, they're incredible. I mean, they're so hardworking. If you've watched our defense, it's very high pressure. They're running pretty much all game. I don't know how they do it. They have to be exhausted, and they're just so confident and so fun to watch. And when the ball gets down on that end, no one's nervous, and we're pretty much just ready for it to come back to us. And they work so hard at practice. And obviously, offense is a position that tends to get a lot of attention just because that's the goal scorers. But our D has just done such an amazing job over the last couple of years. Kelly's made them into such a crucial part of our team, and I wish more credit would go to a group like that because they really are such an incredible group of girls. Every one of them is such a good leader for our team and just works so hard, and it makes our job on offense easy when we know if it ends up going the other way, they'll make a stop for us when we need them to. So it's been great.
You've been to quite a few Final Fours in your career. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from previous ones you're looking to apply to this one?
Yeah, I think just enjoy it. I mean, savor the moment. It's a really cool experience. Only 4 teams a year get to do it, and I've been lucky enough that I've got to do it a couple times, which has been awesome. But every other team in the country is done playing right now. No one else is practicing. They're not playing in games, and I think just continuing to remind ourselves of that when either we get nervous or overthink or think about the pressure of the situation. I think we just try to focus back on the fact that we got an extra week of practice with our best friends. We got an extra week to play for kind of the big thing, and I've definitely learned from that over my years. When I was a bit younger, I definitely was a little bit more scared for the situation, and now that I'm older, I think it's allowed me to just enjoy and work my hardest to allow for us to be successful.